Welcome to the Be Seen, Be Loved TV show. I'm your host, Christie Love, and today I have another amazing guest, and it goes in line with my vision of bringing more international women to the show. Because remember, this is a global network, and we're women everywhere, and women everywhere have different needs, wants, and different things that they're dealing with. So I'm so happy. And so it's so amazing to be able to share more women to you, more diversified women to you from all over the world. And today's guest is Farah Ismail, and Farah is from India. And let me just go over her bio really quick because it's super amazing. Farah is an international recognized facilitator, coach, speaker, and founder of Interact Consulting. She partners with ambitious entrepreneurs and leaders who find themselves frustrated and unfulfilled despite outward signs of success. A little twist there, right? They're already successful, but they're feeling frustrated and unfulfilled. When they work with her, they reimagine their business, crafting a lucrative, purpose-driven enterprise that delivers more confidence, more connection, more revenue, and more meaning. Having rebuilt her own life and business from scratch after struggling through her own life-changing experiences, Farah knows exactly how to forge a new path towards a meaningful life and offers her clients proven blueprints for their own success. Now, in her 25 years experience, she has designed and facilitated leadership programs for global organizations, including Johnson & Johnson, Saudi Commission for Health Specialties, Decathlon, Pfizer, Hitachi Energy. I mean, the list is crazy. British Deputy High Commission, Swiss Re, Alibaba, if you know them, and Coca-Cola, if you know that company, just to name a few. She believes that everyone has the potential to make a difference, and her role is to inspire, change, and realize this potential. Now, wasn't that amazing or what? Let's welcome Farah to the show. Hi, Farah.
Hello, Christy. How lovely to meet you.
How lovely to meet you. When I was reading your bio, I'm like, wow, you really are international, right? And you created international success, not just in India, but so many different places around the world. And boy, I know that that's definitely a journey that a lot of our viewers and listeners want in life. So, but just start by telling us, your story, your journey. Where did you come from? What have you been through? And what led you to where you are now?
So when you talk about the journey, you're taking me back to this beautiful space where, I don't usually spend too much time looking backwards. I look really looking forwards, but that's what's shaped me. So yes, international happened only because of some of the beautiful careers that I had. Started by dreaming of flying for an international airline, took me to all parts of the world, widened my vision, came back to India, worked in a software company handling their business development, and then moved into training, facilitation, coaching, and I haven't looked back. It's been my longest career. And this aviation bug, the thing that I'd like to live and experience different cultures and different places, it allowed, all my careers allowed me to do that. And today I work globally, virtually, and I think it's exciting that I'm able to create that lifestyle while I do what I love.
Well, I love it. I love what you're doing on the global scale, which is absolutely, like I said, amazing and wonderful opportunities that you have and created a life for yourself. But I do want to go back just a little bit. We're going to go back just a little bit. No, we're going to go back. We're going to move toward the future again. But just being real, you're from India, right? And in India, I know years ago, women did not have the opportunities that they have today. So as growing up in India, how was your life? How were you inspired to do these big things as a woman, as a female in that living in that city?
Yeah, I think one, I was very fortunate to be part of a family where my mother brought us up thinking anything is possible. So we didn't, I think this limitless thinking came from there, that you dream it and you can achieve it. And my mother still inspires us. And she didn't have a huge education. So we still learn from her high level thinking. So I think it's also the genes that we have. So while I was living in an environment where there were quite a few, people never did things like fly for an airline or, do things like that. I think we came from a family where we believe that, we can choose what we want to create for ourselves. So luckily, that's something that really helped me. That's the foundation I had. And this thinking of being able to look really high and achieve wherever we want to go, that came from a very young age. And so for me, I didn't see any limits to that. And the only limits that came were if I had that limit in my mind. So when I dreamt of working across the world, all I did was write an email and say, I'm curious. I live here, and this is how I want to contribute to your project. Or I want to be part of this global community, and I want to contribute. So this whole thing, this whole red thread of this thinking came throughout my life. So I would say, while we're part of a culture that might not see initially, that we didn't really have the opportunities, I think India is a completely different place now, and we have every opportunity that we can think of. So excited to be in this thriving place right now.
I love what you're saying there. And you sound like you came from a very fortunate family, a very
Mm.
fortunate, very positive environment. Did you see, like in school, some of your friends that may not have had the type of upbringing and family culture that you did that really helped it to inspire and motivate them to do and excel at a bigger, capacity in life?
I think that's great. When you take me back to my education, and we were all struggling. Okay, we walked to school long distances, and uh, yes, today it's different, but that time it was, we're really working really hard to create, to give each other that education we need. I was the only one in my family who actually had a college degree. So I was the lucky one. I have two older sisters who probably didn't have that opportunity. They started working earlier than me. So in many ways, I was blessed because being the youngest, I had that I had those pathways created for me. And there was another thing. There was this whole um, quest, the quest for learning. And I think I had that, and I still have that. I'm always thinking, what next? They
Mm.
would be tired of me, In college, I would say, what next? I just had a degree. What next? I would say, you just got a degree. And I would say, what next? So that curiosity and the thing that there's always something more still continues. And going back to what you said, yes, we had everybody came with different backgrounds, different, and still, when you think about what we have in India, it's the sense of community. I'm meeting my best friend after what 30, 40 years next month, and we've had that connection, and I think it's amazing to see how everybody has that. That passion to do a little better, to challenge their status quo, to try new things. So I've had some very beautiful connections even from school and college, and it continues to inspire me, Christy, that all of us as humans do have that hope of we can create a better life for ourselves. So I think I was part of a generation where we were all very hopeful, and so there was a lot of optimism and hope.
Well, that's great. That's great. And that's great that you also surround yourself with other people who are very like-minded. And I hear you say a characteristic trait that a lot of successful people have. I know I've always had that desire within myself is to learn. Every time I learn something, I'm like, okay, great, I've learned it. And what's next? What's next? What can I learn next? What can I've experienced that. I've become an expert at this one field. Okay, let's take it to the next level. Take it to the next level. And a lot of people may have that desire, but they don't act on it. And so it sounds
Hmm.
like you're a person that actually acts on it, and that's how you continue to rise over these years and create the business that you have today. Now, share a little bit about your business, because I know you have a little twist on how you help people. You help people who are already pretty much successful, right? But they have, some insecurities that are still kind of holding them back. Talk about that a little bit, because I like how you position yourself in that market.
Thank you, Christy. Just going back to what you said, that's really important. When we learn something is to build mastery. And it's easy to take on too many things. I've also been guilty of that at one point in my life, and I wanted to try so much because the world is filled with such amazing things that you can create. And you start thinking, I have one life, what else can I do? And then you slowly start believing that, there's this one thing and this one thing, and then you really converge to that. So that's where I am right now. And I think when you talk about what I do today, and it really comes from some of the experiences I've had in my life, and the experiences of uh, actually having huge roller coasters. And when I look back, I look at a big part of my life where I put on hold. Actually, 13 years of not taking action. And I'm saying that for the first time, that I feel very it's not about regrets. It's the fact that I felt I had everything, but I was not willing to look at, how fulfilled I was. And the day I realized that that's not working for me, it could be a relationship, it could be a career choice, it could be a business that you run. But if the path goes stale, if you're on that path, then you don't want to stop, take a pause, and look at, I need to make a change. So that's what I did for myself. And I think there were a lot of other factors that allowed me to do that. And one of them was the work I did with Dr. Brené Brown's work on courage. And then I had the courage to actually step out of something that wasn't serving me and then start something from scratch. And that feeling of starting at the beginning again in your life can be really frightening. And but I think what really, some of the when you call the mantras that really keep you and ground you is this belief in yourself, or the belief that there is something ahead, and the courage that will help you to move forward. And so when I was able to do that for myself, despite all the challenges, it took a little while, but that's when I was able to create this business in which I help build courageous leaders with other organizations. And today I coach women entrepreneurs who sometimes have been on this path and they feel like they have everything, but they are struggling because they want something more. They're still frustrated and they feel unfulfilled. So it's really about creating this inner and outer experiences that help them to unlock courage for themselves, to make those decisions for their life. So I love the fact that I went through that space. I was able to create that success for myself, and I'm able to touch more lives to create that. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. What is important, I think, as we become kind of complacent, in life and get comfortable, is to always have some type of personal development practice within your life. You said you work with Brene Brown, she's very motivational, encouraging.
Mm.
We need that. We need that kind of boost, because sometimes we do try to do it ourselves, but it's tough, right? It's tough. And if we don't continue to work on ourselves, we can get stuck in life. And that's one thing that I don't want for our ladies, is to be stuck in life. I want you to continue to grow and expand and motivate yourself to do more things. So, but your business, geez, not only the leadership part, but you work with amazing, amazing companies as well. How did you position yourself to be able to work with such, boy, I mean, like Fortune 500 companies or corporations and beyond, in such a global atmosphere?
Actually, now that you say that, I'm truly truly lucky because I've had this. I believe collaboration is key. So that's another thing that really helped me when I was at my lowest, when I was able to collaborate with some people who are fantastic in the way they they position themselves and they offer their work to the world, as well as some international organizations. So I think that belief that that I can add value, and when I created those connections, I learned and I grew from there. So a lot of it was bringing my uniqueness, my fresh perspective, and this ability to help leaders really create the best and the highest version of themselves. And as we started doing that with some fantastic organizations, I started actually living it. I remember this one particular program which I did for an organization for a long stint. It was this work on difficult conversations. It's by the Harvard Negotiation Project, and I remember very clearly that I owned it. It was in my DNA because I believe those three skills that really help you to have any conversation and move it from a difficult to a learning conversation. And I was able to apply it to a real life situation. And when you think that in my lifetime, I'm not able to change this because this person is not going to see any other way. And to be able to apply that and actually see it happen in front of me, boy. So when I think about this opportunity that I had to believe that I can collaborate with anyone because I had the intention and I was willing to learn and give and bring that presence into a room and really take people from where they are to where they want to go. And of course, along the way, I did a lot of learning, Christy. I became a certified professional facilitator, and facilitation is really a must have skill today for any leader. So, being able to create those experiences for people using the modality of facilitation or coaching has been, I think, one of the biggest things that I have done for my personal development. Yeah.
Well, what I heard you say in the beginning of that talk is collaboration. So many people are scared of collaborating nowadays because they're fearful of competition. What do you think about that? Because I feel the opposite. I think collaborations are absolutely amazing, and that's the best way to start to get these opportunities that are going to help you rise. You collaborate, you meet, you network on a consistent basis with many people because you don't even know who someone else knows, right?
Absolutely.
And the more people you meet, the more opportunities to meet people that they know. That's how I see it. But so many people think that they can do it themselves, all alone, and they can do it from all up here. And you seem like you're absolutely brilliant. But again, you didn't do it alone. You collaborated with people. You talked with the people. You got out there. You told people what you wanted, right? Your vision, and that's how you make it happen.
I have to say something here. I have had to shift a perspective and a narrative that I had in my head. At one point, when I was working alone and I was starting my business and my life from scratch, I kept going into this rabbit hole. And that rabbit hole, when I went down, I had this thing which was I'm alone. So I want to tell you, I've been there. And when I fall prey to that, I really cannot be I just can't be productive. I can't be thinking creatively. I can't do what I want to do or envision the life I want to create. So I am alone really pulled me back. And there are times I go back to that. And but when and it is pretty lonely when you feel that, if you're an entrepreneur, etc., if you think you have to do everything alone. But when you shift that and when you know 1 + 1 = infinity, and then when you experience those relationships, and then you get addicted to it. So I believe today I think we've changed after the pandemic. Well, we've realized the power of having these deep connections with people and of course global, and being part of networks and being part of beautiful communities has really changed that. I'm part of a couple of communities where it's all about giving. And I think I'm living there, breathing there, and being part of those only because that's the way I want it. And like you said, who you surround yourself with is important. So which communities you're part of is also great, because when you have that, then the competition doesn't even you don't even think of it. You don't even think there's competition there. Yeah. You're just learning from each other. You're getting inspired by each other. And I think that's a challenge for most of us. Like I see when I'm working with other women, there's sometimes you fall prey to comparison. You start comparing yourself. I don't know enough. I'm not ready. And the same patterns that you see. And I think that's something that when you have you get in touch with your unique self and whatever you can offer. I feel that when you do that well, you can make your mark. We're in this whole big universe. We're a little
Your
speck,
mark.
but we make a big difference.
Yes, yes, and make your mark. I understand that you're unique. You're unique, and you have your own power. And people are attracted to certain different personalities, different types of
Mhm.
people. And so, even though two people can do, the same title, each one delivers in a different way. I know you're a facilitator, a leader. I'm a leader. I do leadership
Yeah.
training. You do leadership training as well. But we both have different perspective. We both have different energy that we're portraying.
Yes.
People are going to be attracted to you, and some people will be attracted to me. And you know what? It's okay, because this world is huge. The world is you travel quite a bit. So you know how vast the earth is, and all
Yeah.
types of people and opportunities that exist within it. And so I love what you're saying. I love how you have positioned yourself, and I love the motivation and inspiration that you bring to so many ladies. I hope you're listening to this.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Ah,
Farah, can you give our viewers three tips on how they can really become inspired and start making a change that's going to really help them in life?
3 tips. Okay.
You already talked about some, so we can certainly go over those three that you've already touched on as well.
Okay. I would say the 3 tips are all within you. Okay. So whatever tips I'm going to say, it's all inside of you.
Okay.
One thing that really drove me forward is when I was brave enough to use my voice, bold enough to listen to my heart, and strong enough to live the life that I imagined and reimagined. So if I say these are the 3 things that I would invite you to start creating for yourself, just
And it all for yourself.
build that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it all starts with you. A lot of people look on the outside and what this person has and what this person is doing, but
Yeah.
they don't realize that they have the power too. And that's something I had to realize for myself as a speaker. I was mentoring people for about 15 years to do public speaking. And it wasn't until one gentleman, this is a gentleman that I actually mentored him to speak, and he just blasted off and took this many different areas of coaching, masterminds, retreats, speaking on stages in front of thousands. And I'm just like, wow. And he said, Chrissy, you can do this too. You can do this. I can. And now I'm doing the things that I always dreamed of, but I was just stuck because I didn't look within inside. I didn't know that I
Mm.
had that power and that ability. But yes, it all starts with you. So, Farah, before I let you go, I want to know, what is lighting you up these days? What are you doing? What's next on your plate? What are you excited about in the future?
Okay. Oh, what's happening in September? I'm excited for the first. So I'm part of a women's community, and we are celebrating 2 years. And for the first time, we are celebrating it by creating a fest, a 2-day fest, which is so powerful, which is got a theme of love, learn, and leap. So I'm part of that fest. I'm excited about that, and also I'm really excited uh, to to create something new in my business. So I'll be sharing that next month. And I think what's lighting me up is my daughter's in town with me. So I have a beautiful 22-year-old, and she just graduated and taking a couple of weeks before she goes back into London. So she's with me right now. So she's lighting up my life.
Awesome, awesome. You're gonna have a
Yeah.
great time before
Yeah.
she comes back. That sounds amazing. Well, thank you so very much, Farah, for being on the Be Seen, Be Loved show. I truly enjoyed you, and thank you for giving so much gifts and value to our viewers and listeners here.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. First
Thank
of
you
all,
so
I
much
want to
for
say
giving so much great value to our
it's
viewers.
my pleasure. I get a lot of value by being on your listening to your podcast and the amazing guests that you have. So being part of it is my honor, and really humbled by being here. Thank you, Christie. And I'm really excited to be following you and seeing where our collaboration will go.
Absolutely. Collaboration. Farah, before I let you go, again, I just want to ask you, how can people find you?
Christie, people can find me on, especially on LinkedIn. So I will share my Farah Ismail, so they can find me there.
And how do you
And
spell that?
FARAHISMAIL.
Awesome. And you said you have a community as well. Can you share a little bit more about your community?
Sure, I'm part of a few communities, and I can share the links with you after, so you can share it with everyone. Of course, besides the communities I'm part of, I also would love to offer your, your community a download, a book that I wrote recently that will inspire them to be unstoppable and take the next step in their journey.
I love it. And where's your website? You have a website that I can link them to, or we can...
Yes, my website is www.interactconsulting.in.
Interactconsulting.in. Awesome. Go find Farah, download
Yes,
the book, join her community, and let's get connected.
absolutely. So I'm looking forward to seeing how I can add more value to each one of you and have a beautiful, beautiful time on the show. Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you for being on the show today. I just want to go over a couple of announcements before we head on over to conversation and a little Q&A. First, I want to give a shout out to Midwave Radio that airs our show in Scotland, the UK, and abroad, as well as on Win-Win Women, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and also Apple TV. You can see the recordings there. Now I want to just tell you a little bit about a webinar that I have that you can find on my website, 𝗠cznie𝗂𝘵.com. And if you know me, let me just talk about what I do. I help heart-centered, career-minded women who are overworked, anxious, and feel inferior in the workplace to rise to the next level of success by boldly stepping into their power as a stellar speaker who has found her voice and is able to communicate in a way that generates loads of cash with confidence, clarity, and confidence. So if that's you, you definitely want to tune into this webinar, How to Have It All, Career, Lifestyle, Family, without sacrificing your health and happiness. So you can go to my website, 𝗠cznie𝗂𝘵.com, and grab it there, and it's free. So what's next? If you want to move forward and simply book a call with me, you can certainly do that by going to the website below, 𝗠cznie𝗂𝘵.com/powerhouse-strategy-call. And let me just tell you about my Superwoman Speaker Suite, all right? It's a 90-day immersion or coaching program that's gonna help you to end your overwhelm, your chronic exhaustion, anxiety, rejection, drama, and really not feeling heard or seen or understood in the workplace or in your profession, right? And teaches you how to really emerge as a powerhouse woman who is deeply fulfilled and who's an amazing leader as well. And so I invite you to book a call with me, see if we're a great fit. I have openings right now for a few of you amazing women who are looking to really take your life to the next level, take your life and your career to the next level as your most amazing and most powerful self. Now, as always, I just want to thank you again for being on the show. And you can always catch me live on Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 7 o'clock p.m. in the UK time. And as always, before I go, I just want to send you much love and success. Bye for now.